today is another episode of the 411, and today's topic is going to be about healthy travel. This can mean a lot of things, but mainly what I'm going to talk about today is how to not get diseases, illnesses, sicknesses, and pretty much keeping up your health on the road or while you're in another country, because we've all heard the stories of someone getting malaria or gosh knows what, anything you can think of, or we've ourselves gotten something on the road, and it's just really miserable when you're in another country or you're on a trip and you're supposed to be having fun, but it's not fun because you're on the toilet pooping or throwing up your guts or in foreign hospitals. It's just not fun. So I'm going to give you guys my tips and how I stay healthy on the road as much as possible. So let's get started with the 411 on healthy travel. So I want to start off with like the most basic of basic things that you need to do to be healthy on the road, and that is wear your sunscreen. I always carry at least this much of sunscreen when I'm out traveling because you really don't want to burn. Don't be one of those silly people that's like, oh, I'm not going to burn, or oh, I never burn, because more than likely you could burn and you don't want to ruin your trip that way. And being burnt isn't good down the road. It can give you a lot of skin cancers or skin issues down the road. So overall, it'd be just better if you carry one of these. I also always travel with this first aid kit. This is the Johnson & Johnson's first aid kit, and yes, mine is broken because someone threw my suitcase a little too hard off the plane, so mine does have a hole in it, but it still serves the same purpose. But this just has like band-aids, cleaning cloths, Neosporin, and some gauze. This is like the basic of basics things that you could need, but you never know if you're going to be out hiking or honestly anything and maybe cut your toe on something, and a band-aid sometimes helps and can stop the bleeding. The third thing that I always take is my bag of pills. I love these things, and I keep my medicine in this, and this is just the daily medicine that I need, like my allergy medicines, my sleeping medicines, my birth control, those kind of things, because you don't want to get to another country and forget these things. If you are in another country that doesn't have Allegra per se, then you're going to be up a creek because you might not actually find any kind of allergy pills there, because a lot of countries don't have just normal everyday pills that we could go and find in Canada or the US or Europe or anything for that matter. But a lot of those don't have it, so I would suggest to bring it. So I always bring this. This is my everyday stuff, and I also bring things like, hold on one second. I always bring Imodium and Advil because sometimes those two aren't found in other countries, and those two can make or break your trip if you're feeling pretty lousy. So you guys know by now that I just got back from Belize not too long ago, and because I was going to volunteer in Belize, my professor said that it was probably a smart idea to go and see if I needed to get any of my vaccines or take a live vaccine for the trip, because that's another thing you want to worry about when you're going on another country or another state, because a lot of countries have malaria or typhoid or Hep A or Hep B, common everyday things that are happening, but sometimes you don't have the vaccine in you, and you need that vaccine so you don't get any of those diseases or illnesses. And that's what I did for going to Belize. So what I did was contact this place called Passport Health, which I'm not sure is in Canada, but I do know for sure that it's in the United States. But I'm gonna guess that there's probably a similar place in Canada and in Europe. I'll post the link down below so you guys can kind of see what that is and see if you guys have one in your country. But basically what Passport Health does is they construct this book for you for your country, and I'm going to show you guys mine. So this is the book that they gave me. It says for Carson Tilley, which is obviously me, and you're traveling to Belize. So this book has everything to do with Belize. It basically tells you what kind of diseases are found in Belize, and they said two things that were probably what I should look out for the most was typhoid and malaria. So I'm a big chicken. I'm just going to go out and say that I do not like shots. I hate shots. I avoid them at all costs. If I don't have to take one, then I'm not going to. So I tried to stick with that plan because I don't want to take shots. Obviously, I'm afraid of them. So luckily for you people that are also afraid of shots, there are pills for a lot of these things. Not everything, like yellow fever, I believe does not have a pill. So if you're going somewhere that has yellow fever, you're unfortunately going to have to get a shot. But for typhoid and malaria, you can get pills. I decided to opt out of malaria ones because it wasn't that rampant in Belize, and many people don't there hasn't even been a case for years, so I decided not to do that. But I did take my typhoid pills because typhoid is something that you can get back in the States or in Canada or in Europe, so it's something that you can get any day, every day. So I decided to do typhoid just so I had it in my system, and the pills that you could take has your typhoid, like you can be without typhoid for 5 years, so immunity to typhoid for 5 years. So I decided to take that, and I'm going to put a little screenshot of what those pills look like because I did take a picture, not of the actual pill, but like the outside of the pill case. So that's what they look like, and super easy to take. I only had to take, I believe, 3 or 4, not very many. The last thing that I want to talk about is mosquitoes. Mosquitoes were something that Passport Health told me to definitely make sure that I didn't get bit as much as possible, which I had already known that, but I guess when you're thinking about malaria, it definitely makes you think about things, and having bites all over your legs just makes things not fun, and you want to stay healthy. You want to make sure you don't have malaria, so I always bring Off with me. This is the family care one. It has a different smell than the normal Off, so it smells a little bit better, not that much better, but a little bit better than the normal. And I also have this other stuff, hold on, this stuff, which is called Ultrathon Insect Repellent, and it has DEET in it, which DEET is the active ingredient that makes sure that mosquitoes don't like you. So one of the two I would definitely get. So those are just a few tips on how to stay healthy while you're traveling. Remember to bring your insurance cards, all of that stuff, all of your basic medicine, and make sure that you don't need any vaccines, or that you do need vaccines when you go to another country, and more than likely you guys can be safe. Of course, you can't always avoid every illness or sickness or disease. Sometimes it just happens. That's the beauty and pain of travel. You just kind of have to go with it and take your chances. So if there's anything that I didn't mention but you guys think would be worthwhile for saying, go ahead and comment down in the comment section below and let all of us know what your tips are, and thumbs up this video if you found any of these tips useful. I will see you guys next video. Happy travels!